Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Let's Taste with the Intrepid Wino. My name is James Scaresbrook, and this happens to be my, I believe, 100th episode of Let's Taste, which has included a couple of live stream videos. If you haven't seen those, they're a bit different. I do encourage you having a watch. And if you do like them and you'd like to see me do more live streaming tastings that you can actually interact with as we taste, please let me know, because I'd be keen to get those kind of things going again. But for my 100th edition of Let's Taste, I thought it would be great to open up some wines of one of a new podcast guest, Caroline Mooney, will be on episode 102 of the Vincast, my wine podcast. And when she was here, she very generously gave me some bottles of her wine. And I actually have never had the opportunity to taste her wines, although I've heard some really fantastic things. We are heading off to a barbecue picnic today, which is really exciting. So I thought I'll open some bottles, take them along to share them with everyone there. But first, I'll actually record my impressions. So, Bird on a Wire is based in the Yarra Valley. Caroline sources fruit from I believe, a couple of different vineyards and produces her wine under this beautiful label. I believe there's only 3 wines in the Bird on a Wire range at the moment. I think there might be some more coming in the future. But what an opportunity to taste. So let's start off with the Marsanne. If you didn't see the last episode, I talked about Tabilk, and they're quite famous for Marsanne. The Yarra Valley is a really underrated region for Marsanne, partly thanks to my guest who was on episode 100 of the podcast, Yering. They have had Marsanne for a long time. But Yering Station also is quite famous for Marsanne. They do a blend though, whereas Caroline likes Marsanne on its own because she found this beautiful grower of Marsanne. So let's have a look. Bit of colour to it this time, different to Tabilk Marsanne, which was very, very clear. There is a lovely kind of yellowing to it. Already I'm seeing a kind of an oily character. Lemon, orange, a little bit, very, very delicate kind of nectarine character. And a nice kind of white floral note too. Let's taste. Definitely some presence on the palate. There is a little bit of richness, some nice texture to it as well. It does have a sort of a leesy, savoury note to it. The oily lemon character comes through as well. There's a bit of warmth as well. It's not a lighter style of Marsanne. It's not designed to just be very simple and fresh and with nice fruit. There is that kind of textural element. There's complexity to it. And I think it would be interesting to see how this wine develops. The warmth is getting pretty powerful in this wine. It's 15% alcohol, so that's a really different style of Marsanne than I have seen certainly in Australia. It really has some ripeness to it. It's got a lot more depth and body than a lot of people might be expecting with Marsanne. I think it's probably a little bit more in line with some of the French examples. It has a lot of similarity to Viognier and Roussanne from the southern Rhone Valley. That is really a powerful expression for Marsanne. So if you do like a fuller, richer, but definitely not kind of oaky or sweet style of white wine, I highly recommend this one. And I think, yeah, it would be interesting to see how that wine ages, because it's a very different style, but definitely got some ripeness and a bit of alcohol too. So the Marsanne, I believe, sells for $35, thereabouts. And then the other two both sell for $40. So the next one is the Chardonnay, 2013 Marsanne. So they're all from 2013, which is possibly making a bit of sense for the Marsanne, being in that kind of riper spectrum. 2013 was a pretty good year for getting ripeness, healthy yields. So physiologically, the grapes would have been pretty ripe when they were harvested. So Chardonnay, I make no bones about thinking that the Yarra Valley produces some of the best Chardonnay in Australia, if not the best. Particularly, the consistency across the board is really hard to fault. Lovely classic Yarra Valley Chardonnay. Really a lovely kind of citrus notes. There are some sort of white peach notes as well. It does sort of pick up that sort of just delicate creaminess from some nice mallow and batonnage work. I would say there's probably been some lees stirring in some of the barrels. Definitely not a very powerful new oak character here. It's quite subtle. There's just the faintest sort of savoury, almost salty coconut note. But it's very, very textbook Yarra Valley Chardonnay. Let's taste. Again, this is quite a structural white wine. Probably have these a little bit cold, so I might even be hiding a little bit. There's a nice kind of honeydew melon character. That there is kind of a dried, very subtle dried apricot character. That citrus, the peach is coming through. It's lovely in texture. It really kind of rolls across the palate, and even more so with the Chardonnay. I think this it's far too early to be opening this bottle. Lower alcohol here, 13.2% alcohol, which is right on the sweet spot for Chardonnay from the Yarra Valley, in my opinion. Again, excellent Chardonnay. And look, you are likely to find a lot of really good Yarra Valley Chardonnay at that price point. That's probably, I think Yarra Valley Chardonnay is arguably some of the best value wines in Australia. Lastly, a variety in the Yarra Valley which I have for the longest time thought is really, really one of the most underrated. It is Syrah. One of the things that I always liked about Yarra Valley Syrah was them being, it being a cooler climate. I just felt like the character of the Shiraz and Syrah was so unlike what was considered to be the norm for Australian Shiraz. Certainly, the kind of Shiraz that was getting a lot of attention from wine shows and wine critics, big points and trophies, that kind of thing. I have always enjoyed or preferred wines that are lighter and more savoury in nature, and the beautiful sort of spicy peppery character of Yarra Valley Shiraz has always really enticed me and then filled me with a lot of enjoyment. There's some dark berries in this wine, but there is also some nice kind of clove character. It's a little bit more brambly and a bit more brooding. It's not super aromatic here. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Caroline might have mentioned that maybe she puts a little bit of Marsanne in, as an alternative to something like Viognier. But yeah, it's quite shy. It's a little bit more restrained. I usually see Yarra Valley, Shiraz and Syrah that is quite a bit more kind of exuberant aromatically. So I'm intrigued by this one. So let's taste. It certainly doesn't lack for exuberance on the palate. It's really filling the mid palate with nice sort of dark fruits. There's the spice element. The pepper is quite low in here. Again, I'm picking up a little bit of warmth from the alcohol. It's not overwhelming. There is a bit of barrel character in here. I think this is a very good wine, but I think that there are there's not many really good Syrahs from the Yarra Valley in my opinion, but they can be a little bit more tighter. I think this is a really pleasurable Syrah and is worth the $40. I'm now picking up some more complex characters, which is really good to see. Again, it's possible that this is a little bit too early, or it's gone into a slightly kind of closed state and might start to re-emerge with a few more years in bottle and start to show some really interesting characters. But I think for me, probably not unsurprisingly, the Chardonnay was the absolute winner of those three. The Marsanne I found quite interesting. I've never seen a Marsanne like that from Australia, and the Syrah is very, very good drinking. But thank you very much, guys, for watching my 100th edition of Let's Taste. I look forward to bringing you another 100 episodes. Please, if you did like this video, hit that like button. Leave a comment below if you'd like to share your impressions of Bird on the Wire wines, and if you enjoyed the episode with Caroline, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Intrepid Wino. Come visit me at intrepidwino.com and come and check out some of the other content, and definitely listen to episode 102 with Caroline Mooney. And thanks, Caroline, for the bottles. But until next time, guys, cheers.